Morning, everyone. Someone once told me that the word fear, F-E-A-R, stands for false evidence appearing real. But the truth is, I'm not sure that that's accurate, because sometimes it's not false evidence. Sometimes there's real dangers and real threats, and it's a normal emotional reaction to have fear. But I think that his definition of false evidence appearing real would be more accurate to describe not fear, but anxiety. Anxiety is a sense of stress and nervousness and anxiety over something that may or may not really be a true threat. It's just the overall feeling of anxiety. Someone once said that anxiety is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you very far. So in this week's parsha, it talks about the commandment that every 7th year the field shall lie fallow. You should not work the field. And the Torah says, and what's if you will say, what will I eat in the 7th year? So God says, I will give my blessing in the 6th year, that it will last for the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th year. A triple blessing. Now the question is, every year when you harvest your field, it provides crop for the following year. So when the Torah addresses the concern of the farmer and says, if you will ask, what will I eat in the 7th year? Really the farmer should be saying, what will I eat in the 8th year? Because the 7th year he has plenty to eat from the 6th year when he did harvest. It's the 8th year that's the problem. Because if you don't work in the 7th year, what will I eat in the 8th year? And that's where the Torah says, I'll give you a triple blessing, that the 6th year's crop and yield will provide for 6, 7, and 8. But obviously what the Torah is saying is that the farmer has plenty to eat in the 7th year. But because he's not working his field, even though he has plenty of food in front of him, he feels anxious. What am I going to eat in the 7th year? Because he's afraid he's going to run out of food. And that's true in life. Many times we have what we need in front of us, but we're still fearful and we're worrying. People sometimes have enough money, but they're worrying. Why? Because maybe I'm going to run out, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. But right now you have enough. What are you worried about? But that's the nature of anxiety. So the question is, how do you overcome that anxiety? So there's two approaches. One is, I'm reminded of the story about this farmer who had his one and only beloved horse, and the horse ran off. So all of his friends came to console him, and they said, oh, we're so sorry for your bad luck that your horse ran away. He said, well, maybe yes, maybe not, we'll see. Next day the horse came back with 12 stallions. So all of his neighbors came and said, wow, such good luck, you got 12 stallions now. He said, maybe yeah, maybe not, we'll see. The next day his son was riding one of the stallions, he fell and broke his leg. So his friends came and said, oh, we're so sorry for your bad luck. Our deepest condolences. He said, maybe yeah, maybe not, we'll see. The next day the army came to draft all the young men to the army. They saw his son had a broken leg, and they didn't draft him to the army. The point is, sometimes a lot of things we worry about turn out to be nothing, and on the contrary, sometimes they turn out it was all for the best. And that's the idea of Nachem Ish Gamzu. He said, Gamzu L'Tova, everything is for the best. But there's even a level beyond Nachem Ish Gamzu who said everything is for the best. Rabbi Akiva said in Aramaic, Kol ma da'avad Rachmana l'ta'avad, everything that God does is for the best. And the Lubavitcher says, what's the difference if you say Gamzu L'Tova, this too is for the good, or everything God does is for the best, like Rabbi Akiva? And the Rebbe explains the difference. That Nachem Ish Gamzu is saying is, right now it's not good, but it will lead to something good. It is L'Tova, for a future good. Rabbi Akiva took it a step further and deeper and said, no, it's not just that what's happening now will lead to something good. This too is actually good. You may not see how it's good, but it's actually good. And that's the way we finish the benching every time we eat a meal, which is thanking God for our sustenance and trusting that everything comes from Hashem. We say, Baruch HaGever, Sheyiftach B'Hashem. Blessed is the man, the person who trusts in God, V'haya Hashem Miftache, and God will be his security. The only true way to eliminate anxiety is to have true faith and trust in Hashem, and then there's nothing to fear except Hashem.